Close your eyes for a moment, imagine your day slowing down, the world becoming quiet, and your mind ready to drift into dreams. But before you fall asleep, let's make tonight special, with 7 magical bedtime stories that will not only help you relax, but also make your English more fluent, natural, and expressive. Each story has a secret, a hidden lesson, a spark of suspense, and words that will gently guide you to dreamland, while improving your English, one sentence at a time. So, get cozy, take a deep breath, and let's begin. Story 1, The Whispering Woods. Long ago, in a peaceful village surrounded by tall whispering trees, lived a boy named Evan. He loved exploring the woods, but the villagers warned him, never go there after sunset. One evening, Evan saw a glowing light deep inside the forest. Curiosity won. He followed it. The trees whispered softly, as if they were alive. Suddenly, the light stopped near an old wooden chest buried under leaves. Evan opened it, and found nothing but a small mirror. Confused, he looked inside. But the reflection wasn't his. It was a girl's face, whispering, "Help me find my voice." Startled, Evan promised to return the next night. Every night, he listened, learned, and finally realized the girl was the spirit of the forest, waiting for someone kind and brave to listen. When Evan sang her name aloud, the trees began to hum, and the forest came alive again. Lesson: sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Listen before you speak, that's the heart of true communication. Story 2, The Lion and the Mouse. Once upon a time, a mighty lion slept under a tree. A tiny mouse ran over his paw. The lion roared, catching the mouse with one strong paw. "Please don't eat me," squeaked the mouse. "Maybe one day, I can help you." The lion laughed. "How can a small mouse help a big lion like me?" But he let him go. Days later, hunters trapped the lion in a net. The lion roared helplessly. The little mouse heard and came running. He bit through the ropes with his sharp teeth until the lion was free. The lion bowed his head and said, "Even the smallest friend can make a big difference." Lesson: never underestimate kindness, or small beginnings. Story 3, The Star Painter. Far beyond the clouds, there lived a young girl named Mira. Every night, she painted stars in the sky with her silver brush. One day, her paintbrush broke. The sky turned dark, and the stars stopped shining. Sad but determined, Mira used her own heartbeat to create new stars, one beat, one light. People on Earth looked up that night and said, "The stars are brighter than ever." Mira smiled. She had learned something powerful: when your tools fail, use your heart. Lesson: your creativity shines brightest when it comes from within. Story 4, The Tortoise and the Hare. Once, a fast hare laughed at a slow tortoise. "Let's race," said the tortoise calmly. The hare agreed, certain he'd win. The race began. The hare sprinted ahead, then stopped for a nap. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept moving, slow but steady. When the hare woke up, he was shocked. The tortoise was already at the finish line. But in this version, something special happened. The tortoise turned around and said, "Let's race again, together this time." The hare smiled. They both crossed the finish line side by side. Lesson: winning alone is good, but growing together is better. Story 5, The Girl with the Golden Voice. There was once a shy girl named Alina who loved to sing, but only when she was alone. One day, her town announced a singing contest. She wanted to join but feared people would laugh at her accent. Her grandmother told her, "A voice that comes from the heart is never wrong." Alina sang with courage. Her voice wasn't perfect, but it was honest, full of emotion. The audience fell silent, then erupted in applause. A music teacher in the crowd offered to train her. Alina became known as the Golden Voice of Hope. Lesson: Confidence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from believing in yourself. Story 6, King Midas and the Golden Touch. King Midas loved gold more than anything. One day, a magical spirit granted him a wish. He wished that everything he touched would turn to gold. At first, it was amazing. His palace shone, his roses glittered. But when he hugged his daughter, she turned to gold. Midas cried, realizing his mistake. He begged the spirit to take back the gift. The spirit agreed, teaching him a valuable lesson. Lesson: true wealth isn't what you hold in your hands, it's what you hold in your heart. Story 7, The Candle and the Wind. A small candle stood on a windowsill, glowing softly every night. One evening, a cold wind entered through the cracks and said, "You're weak. I can blow you out in a second." The candle replied, "Maybe. But until then, I'll keep shining." The wind blew harder and harder, but the candle flickered and refused to die. At dawn, the storm ended, and sunlight filled the room. The wind whispered, "You were stronger than I thought." Lesson: even a small light can survive a big storm when it refuses to give up. Tonight, you heard 7 stories, some classic, some new, but all with one powerful message. That English fluency, like wisdom, comes from listening, feeling, and storytelling. Here's what we discovered together. Listen before you speak, like Evan in the Whispering Woods. Be kind and humble, like the mouse who saved the lion. Use your heart when things go wrong, like Mira, the star painter. Move steady, not fast, like the tortoise who finished the race. Believe in your voice, like Alina, the girl with the golden voice. Value love over gold, like King Midas learned the hard way. Shine even in darkness, like the brave little candle. Every story carries a word, a phrase, a lesson, and a little magic that helps your English flow more naturally every day. Call to action. If you enjoyed these bedtime stories, don't forget to subscribe to your English teacher. Comment below, which story touched your heart the most? And remember, the more you listen, the better your English becomes. So next time you can't sleep, come back here. Let the stories teach you, and let your English grow while you dream. Good night, and keep learning.